Well, they helped stir up the protests in Ferguson, and they're accused of misrepresenting the facts profoundly. But now they're being praised for their leadership. D. Ray McKesson and Janetta Elzy just named by Fortune magazine two of the world's greatest leaders. There they are. They became full-time protesters. That is a job now, leading the charge behind the Hands Up, Don't Shoot movement after the killing of Michael Brown. Well, the Justice Department has since ruled that Brown never had his hands up. Are they really leaders? Joining us now, Fox News contributor and radio talk show host, our friend David Webb. David, it's great to see you. Fortune magazine, still a magazine. That's the headline as far as I know.
Sister magazine, The Time, by the way, which does Person of the Year, of which I was one in 2011. Wow. The protesters, when that was actually about protesters. So think about this. Time doesn't name them Person of the Year last year. There's a bit of a hullabaloo about it. I'll use that word. But they go ahead and do this in Fortune. Frankly, it's given them legitimacy for a lie. Even Jonathan Capehart had to turn around and go, Hands up, don't shoot is a total lie.
Huh. So what's the point?
The point, whether it's publicity, if it's publicity, it's stupid by Fortune to do this. On the other side of this, what exactly did they do? I was there. And I recognize her. I've seen her out on the streets. Don't really recognize him. But I kind of remember her. They were perpetuating a lie. And frankly, the peaceful protesters, which there were many, the ministers, they were overshadowed by the people that drove this narrative, that led to basically someone saying, they kill one of ours, we're going to take two. I'm paraphrasing. Yeah. And we have two New York City cops assassinated. The environment that came out of Ferguson polluted so many cities in this country.
Well, that's it right there. I'm personally not against protests at all. I'm actually in favor of them
the right to protest.
I am against whipping people up into a frenzy of fear and hatred based on lies.
Based on an this lie was so absolute. Dorian Johnson was found out early to be a liar. Suddenly he disappeared off the front pages. But they kept going, pushed on by the hardcore leftists. You name it, everybody who could come to Ferguson that was a hardcore leftist was there, including the Anonymous, the Anarchy types, the Occupy Wall Street types. Then you had the gangs. So you got the Bloods, the Crips, you got the gangs, you got gang members, and you have them pushing this. That is a recipe for disaster. If it had just been peaceful people protesting, there are problems to be addressed, that would have been a different story. But that wasn't the case. This was literally a recipe for disaster.
You think if these protests reemerge this coming summer and turn violent, there'll be people in the media who will stop and say, you know, I wonder if we played a role in this?
There's a good question around that, and they've been having meetings around the Moral Monday 50. They started that in Raleigh last year. I covered that. Number of others, movements that are going to spread up around this idea. They probably will stay peaceful. They'll meet more like the National Action Network march in Washington, D.C., where I found the communists, RevCom, PSL, Webb, International Socialists, SEIU, all the different La Raza types. Yeah. But, if they stay peaceful, I'm like you. Even if it's objectionable, it's offensive, stay peaceful. But you know who the victims are that aren't talked about here? One, Darren Wilson is a victim as well because he's lost his job, his career, but also the business owners. Where's Janice? Where's Muhammad at Sam's Meat Market? Look at the Lalanis, Jan Lalani and his father. Totally. They saved for 6 years to build New York pizza, and they are now victims.
And how about the residents of Ferguson? What's Ferguson going to look like 20 years from now?
A town of 20,000 people has been taken over by several hundred.
So depressing. David Webb, great to see you.
Good to see you.